Episode 3. We're here. We made
Number
it.
3.
It's our third day out here. I guess we'll start. Let's start by shouting out the UK listeners. What?
Yes, sir.
Got us on the charts in the UK on Apple Podcast.
Number 109, baby, in leisure and hobbies in the United Kingdom.
We're climbing.
Crazy blokes over there. Thanks, boys.
Shout out to all the blokes. So this episode 3, we're talking about our most anticipated 2021 coasters. Before we hop into that, though, our guy over here, Chris, paid a little visit to the park that we made episode 2 about.
I did. In fact, I was so inspired by our audio tour of Busch Gardens that I decided that I should just go. I should just go to the park. Winter weekends are going on. This was the last weekend of that special event, and with that, the special announcement that Busch Gardens Williamsburg is now open year round.
Let's go.
Which is crazy. By far the northernmost year-round amusement park, if it sticks. And by all accounts, it seems like it's they're planning to keep it that way. So pretty crazy. But yeah, we shot down to Williamsburg yesterday, and I had a plan in my mind that I was going to marathon the 3 coasters that were open. There were still reservation slots available for the limited capacity event, so I knew it was going to be empty. I was really hyped. I was gonna marathon Alpengeist, Verbolten, and Invader. Maybe get a couple rides in on Finnegan's. And that did not go as planned at all.
You got on 2 of the 3.
I got on 2 of the 3, but however, I got on 2 of the 3 for a grand total of probably 8 rides between the 2 of them, which sounds okay, but when you're riding the ride, walking off and walking back on, that takes all of 40 minutes. We were there for 4 hours. So when we got to the park, it wasn't cold. It was fine. It was in the 40s. But apparently the thermometers that the ride ops use to decide when to turn the ride on are a little bit more sensitive than the one on my phone. So they were insisting, when my phone was saying that it was 42 degrees, they were insisting it was 37 and that it has to be above 39 for them to run. So Taylor and I stood outside of Verbolten for an hour and a half, just waiting. We watched it cycle a couple times. They were testing. We were just waiting and waiting. We didn't have anything else to do. I ate a pretzel. I walked to the Italy Bridge, which was closed, to get a nice view of the absolutely nuts outward bank on Pantheon. It's the first time I saw Pantheon in person. Pretty stunning stuff. But then ultimately they opened Verbolten. The guy came over and put the sign away and let us in. We got on the first train of the day. 3 trains went. We were in the front row again, ready to get on. We were about to get back on, and they closed the ride again for temperature, and it did not reopen. So we rode it once. We were 2 out of the 20 people that got to ride Verbolten yesterday. It didn't even ride that well. It was pretty okay at best yesterday.
You did, however, get some snapshots of Pantheon.
I did. And so one of the things that we ended up doing that I've never done before, in all of my years going to Busch Gardens Williamsburg, I've never ridden the train, which is why I never even mentioned it in the last episode, because I never did it. But knowing that the best views of Pantheon were from the train, we took a nice leisurely train ride, which Taylor was delighted to do, of course. And I took my sweet time, hung off the side of the train practically, and took a bunch of nice snapshots of Pantheon in all its glory. And folks, it's pretty stunning.
Beautiful.
It's pretty stunning. It is pretty stunning.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it looks better in person, honestly. I was pretty mesmerized out there seeing it in person. Very excited to ride that someday.
Probably feels a lot bigger.
Hopefully
in
a couple
person,
months.
Right?
Absolutely. Like I got right up on the top hat. Like it's right on the edge of like the ride property, I guess you would say, the ride site. And the train track is like right off of it. And it's like, yeah, it's intense.
Bro.
Really cool. Really cool looking ride.
Again,
I'm also, go ahead.
I feel like we talked about it the first episode too. This is going to be the third episode that Pantheon is mentioned in.
Oh yeah. We'll be talking about it probably in episode 4 too, somehow. But yeah, it looks awesome. And unfortunately it doesn't look like they've done anything new in the way of theming. It's like a shed with a blue roof for the station. But I'll keep an eye on that. We're gonna go back, I think, in February for the Mardi Gras event, and hopefully actually get on Alpengeist this time. Alpengeist never opened. I should mention that. But I would say the most important thing of the day, and this is a very big follow-up to episode 3, is that the stars aligned for me and Invader to get our relationship right. And I rode Invader a bunch of times. And again, some sort of heavenly being definitely intervened here, because literally 5 rides in a row, I just so happened to get the back row. Over and over and over again, I stepped up. I told the guy Taylor was sitting on a bench somewhere. I got the back row over and over and over again. And I would like to update my opinion officially on this podcast of Invader to say that it kind of slaps. Kind of slaps. It is not mid. I want to take back my opinion of saying it was mid. It's not mid. It kind of slaps. It's probably like a 7.5 as opposed to like a 6. It's a good ride. I had a lot of fun. Riding it over and over and over again. So that was the highlight of my day, I think, was actually marathoning Invader after talking a bunch of shit about it last week.
So not to get off track, because I think we should dive into this list here, but
certainly.
Little fun fact about Invader that I found out while researching one of our coasters for this episode.
The trains
came from Gwazi, which I never knew.
Yes, they did.
Until we were researching this.
I told Taylor that while we were in the line for Invader, and she didn't care at all. I was like, hey, Iron Gwazi that's opening at Busch Gardens Tampa? And she was like, I guess. And I was like, well, it used to be Gwazi, but like now it's going to be Iron Gwazi. And the trains from Gwazi got moved to Busch Gardens Williamsburg, and you're about to ride on them. So, and I explained Millennium Flyer trains, blah, blah, blah. Not anymore. They didn't.
Oh.
They took the statues off.
Really?
And I asked the ride op why. I did. I had not noticed that they were gone. They're gone. The trains are just painted now. And he said that one of them fell off mid ride, so they removed all of them. Mm-hmm.
Bro,
the coolest part of the train, certainly the front, and they took them off. So
hey, quick shout out to Chris's girlfriend for knowing what a B&M invert was. By the way,
she did,
because we were discussing this episode. Or he was discussing this episode with her.
I asked her to name a B&M invert, and she named 2. So
amazing.
Pretty crazy. It's working, guys. It's working.
It's working.
Dreams coming true.
All right, so I guess there's 2 we want to mention because there's not really much on either of them. The first one is Primordial. If it's not even called that anymore, but we're gonna go by that.
It's not.
So that is gonna be at Lagoon. Made in-house again, like Cannibal.
Just like Cannibal, yep.
If y'all want to know straight from our notes that we have for this episode, for features, we have would like to know.
Mm-hmm.
Ride experience, as far as we know, is it's steel and it's sit down.
Yep.
And it's indoors.
Yep.
Also, we have stupid name, but also apparently they abandoned it.
They did. They abandoned the trademark. And so I'm glad, because I think Primordial is a stupid name.
Yeah, it's weird.
But yeah, I mean, all we really know is that it's got green track. It's got an exterior lift hill that's been constructed. They've started to work the track into the structure, which I guess is like a mountain. I don't really know. It's kind of unclear. It's like a bunch of rebar and they're starting to.
For the visual people with the podcast, it's on screen right now. It just looks like a mess of rebar.
Yeah, pretty much. And apparently there will be waterfalls. That's like, apparently there's like, people have picked up on the fact that there's definitely going to be like water features on the outside.
Can't go wrong.
So it could be cool. Could be cool. And it probably won't end up opening in 2021. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I don't think there's been an update on that in quite some time, as far as I know.
And Lagoon takes their sweet time too. So this might be like a 2023 episode 300 sort of thing.
If it turns out like Cannibal, though, it's going to slap.
Yeah.
So that was the first one we wanted to mention without going too much into it because we can't. And the same kind of goes for this one, too. This is Mission Ferrari at Ferrari World, Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
Manufacturer with this one is Dynamic Attractions. Features 5 LSM launches, apparently. 2 inversions, a drop track, and a tilt track.
The tilt track has me that piques my curiosity big time. I saw like the little teaser video where they kind of showed what they were thinking for that, and I just don't know what this ride's gonna do at all. Very strange.
I'll let you take that ride experience. Go into that a little bit because there's not much on that either. But
yeah, it's a multi-launch coaster, but the top speed is only 44 miles per hour, so it never launches very fast. It is said to have 2 inversions, but we can only see one so far. And the track looks like single rail.
Yeah,
but it's not.
It's weird.
But it's not.
Again, it's on screen if you're watching.
The next time I have an Abu Dhabi weekend, I'll make sure to ride it for you and report back.
An Abu Dhabi weekend.
Yeah, so, bachelor party in Abu Dhabi.
I guess we can touch on that too. We're not doing this in an order of ranking, but we are ending on the 2 that we are most likely to get on.
Yeah.
So this list has some things that we might never ride, to say the least, but just some things we're excited to see, I guess.
There are about 5 that I will probably ride in the next 24 months, I would say.
Nice.
If my plans come to fruition.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Oh, another thing apparently that Mission Ferrari is going to have is 2 3D movie screens. So I guess you're going to have some headset or glasses on of some sort as well. I don't know. It's a weird ride. Basically, the 2 we wanted to mention first to kind of graze over are just weird.
Yeah, Total Mysteries, really strange. Really strange final product in all likelihood. That I will probably never ride either. You know, never been to Utah, never been to Abu Dhabi. So one's closer than the other by a lot.
I'll let you get into the first little more in-depth one because it's one I'm very interested in because it hasn't been built in years, this type of coaster from this manufacturer. So
yeah, so the first one here is Monster at Gröna Lund in Sweden. And another coaster that I will probably never ride unless I find myself in beautiful Stockholm, Sweden. But yeah, it's a B&M invert. And this will be the first one since 2014. Banshee at Kings Island was the last one that was built. So this is kind of exciting, reigniting the B&M invert product, which is definitely one of my favorites. You like to call me a B&M fanboy. And that's probably fair. But yeah, I think it's interesting. I think that the layout is different. It's 115 feet max height. It has the curved first drop, which is an element that I really, really, really love. It has 2 0G rolls, the classic Junior Immelman, and a corkscrew. It's very compact and low to the ground. There's a ton of near misses. The track is dark green and gray. It's got a good look to it. I was just watching POVs before we jumped on here, and some of the construction video. I think it looks awesome. But yeah, I mean, I've never been to Gröna Lund, certainly, but apparently everything in the park is really close together and it's really small. And so this would actually be from what I can tell, their premier thrill ride attraction. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's safe to say. I mean, they have that forward Is that a 4D thing? It looks like in the picture, at least that we pulled.
It's disgusting. I would never ride it.
That seems to be the biggest
thing.
Coaster before this. So, and I think to me this feels like a mini Montu / Black Mamba type deal.
Mm-hmm.
Even smaller than those two. Well, I think Black Mamba's fairly small too. But those are the two that come to mind when I look at this thing. So
yeah, I think it's going to be a cool ride. And you know, like I said, like we are certainly spoiled with having access to a bunch of B&M inverts. Like just about every park I go to has one. And so it's almost like in the United States, I feel like we've kind of hit our capacity for B&M inverts. Like every park got one. Everybody got a Batman clone during that, you know, like that era. And so to be getting like something a bit different, even like a small compact version of this model is really cool.
Yeah.
It kind of opens up the possibility for like newer B&M inverts, which I personally like didn't think we were going to see one. You know, maybe ever again.
Yeah. Let's say like revamp it in some way. I don't know. Right. I guess the vest restraints are the revamping that they did do with Banshee, but I personally love Banshee. I've been on Banshee. I would like to see more big inverts from B&M with like custom layouts like that, but
I have never ridden Banshee, but I for the record am a fan of vest restraints, especially in an application like a B&M invert, because there are some of the Batman clones I don't fit on because I'm too fucking big.
Yeah.
Like the hard over the shoulder restraints hit my shoulders and like I'm out of luck. Like it's not gonna come all the way down.
The man is too tall.
I'm too damn big. And people some ride ops have hurt me before on some of the Batman clones. Alpengeist for some reason is the exception, but I'm definitely open to the idea of the nice vest restraints on an invert like this. So yeah, seems like a cool ride. Should be open this year. Maybe someday I'll get to Sweden. I can tell you about it directly.
Hey, so now we're gonna move on to, honestly, I feel like if this one was in the US, I would be way more excited about it. I mean, any of them, I would be way more excited about if they were in the US. But this one, to me, just, I don't know. I love it. This is Abyssus at Energylandia in Poland. The manufacturer is Vekoma.
Oh, yeah.
Rough
the
history,
new Vekoma, baby.
But these new ones are looking tasty, I must say. The model is a Shockwave, and I believe there's also like another model Shockwave called Plus, even though it's the one with less. I think they're backwards, I'm pretty sure.
Shockwave minus?
Yeah. But the features on this one, it's got one LSM launch, an LSM boost, which is kind of what it sounds like, I guess, a little boost halfway through.
Yeah, not quite a launch, just a little boost.
The train doesn't stop on it, it just keeps going through it. We got 4 inversions, and those are a loop, a batwing, and a corkscrew. And the batwing includes 2 inversions technically, but the style is named as one thing. The maximum speed is 62 miles per hour, which is pretty hefty, I think, for the size of this ride. It looks a bit smaller, but in 2.4 seconds, which is quick. So it might have a little kick to the launch there.
Oh, yeah, it will. I have a reference for this too, but I'm going to let you finish. I have a reference point.
I don't know, what else can we get into with the ride experience? I mean, it seems to be fast-paced, compact layout. The theming is like Atlantis-looking type deal.
If they come through with the theming,
dude,
like even half of what they have in the concept art, like that thing will be amazing, like beautiful.
And seems to have a few airtime moments as well, other than the inversions and launches. And it is like we said, the new wave of Vekoma. In the park it's in just has an insane history. 15 coasters in 7 years.
Yes, a very short and insane history at Energylandia. Crazy place.
I mean, they got this, and they're gonna have. Before that, they had the Intamin Hyperion. They got the RMC hybrid Zadra, and they already have one of the new wave Vekomas with the space warp called Formula, which is also a launch. It's looks like the smaller sibling to this, basically.
Yep. Very cool, like theme to race cars. I think it's sick. Also, Energylandia has a slapper of a theme song. Let's just mention that.
Oh my god. Okay. Should we expose ourselves here?
Sure. I'm comfortable.
Okay, so me and Chris may or may not have played Roblox.
Just once.
Just to strictly visit the amusement parks they have on that game, because you can like go together to the amusement park. Yeah. Well, say if you have Roblox and you like roller coasters, check out the Universal Studios that someone made, because it's insane.
Amazing.
I don't want to get sidetracked too much, but you like wait in lines, you can ride the rides. It's crazy.
Dark rides, roller coasters. Yeah.
Energylandia was not as good.
No, very scuffed.
The rides were all over the place, and maybe not the full layout, but it was still fun. I don't know.
Yeah. And the theme song. The whole point of this story was because the theme song played in the background the whole time, and it was fucking amazing.
I didn't even know they had one.
Yeah, so good. Yeah, look, dude, I know how excited you are about this one in particular, but like unequivocally, like Vekoma is back. Like, I just want to say that for sure. And I got to experience it firsthand last year at Dollywood on what should have been like a very mid family coaster on Dragonflyer. That ride slaps. The forces on that ride are nuts. Genuinely. Like, we were like taking a break from riding like the crazier stuff. Like, we had just marathon Thunderhead, and we were like, we should go take like a chill break, walk through like the new kind of kiddie area and go get the Dragonflyer credit. We got off of that and we were like, wait, that thing like absolutely rips. Back row on that ride is like very intense. And it, like, I'm telling you, that, what is it, 62 miles per hour is going to be plenty for the new Vekomas, dude. It's going to be awesome. This is going to rank very high on the best of 2021, I think.
I mean, the Vekoma suspending, what do they call them? Suspended family coasters, I think is what they're calling them, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're awesome. Like overbank really turns on a family coaster.
There's a part on Dragonflyer that is almost an inversion, like the overbank. It's almost you come so close to going upside down. The seats are so comfortable too. The restraints are comfortable. I'm telling you, Vekoma's back. Put it in the headlines. Like, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. We need more top tier manufacturers, and Vekoma is doing some awesome work. I literally was looking at the lineup of Energylandia the other day for like the purposes of doing this episode, and I just screamed to the other room. I said, Taylor, I want to go to Poland. And she was like, okay, honey, okay.
I'm Polish, and maybe I'll make an excuse that I'm visiting where I'm from, where my family's from, and then I'll just go to the theme park. A little
Polish heritage trip to Energylandia.
Yeah. All right, so we'll move on from that before we could do a whole episode on the Vekoma New Wave, bro.
Yes, we could.
We got options moving forward here. But we will move forward in this episode. I'll pass it to you for the next one.
And the next, honestly, okay, I spent a lot of time kind of like memeing this ride and thinking that it was going to be stupid. And the more that I watched the POV and the more that I really looked into it, I think this ride is going to slap. And it's Icebreaker at SeaWorld Orlando. Okay, it is a premier ride Skyrocket. It is a custom layout. Again, I saw it. The heights are really small. The speed is slow. I didn't think it was going to hit. But there's these little details about it that the more I look at the pictures of it, the more I'm like, I kind of see what they're going for here. So they basically took a really small plot of land and made something very cool, like a very cool custom layout with this very tiny plot of land that they have, which is kind of like the Premier Rides thing anyway, with the skyrockets. But so it's got 4 launches. It's got a reverse launch into a 93-foot, 100-degree spike. It has a top hat. It's a really small top hat. Like I said, it's this, like, parts of this make me feel like it's like baby Pantheon, like the spike and the top hat and the launches. But I think it's going to be, I don't think it's going to compete. I don't think it's going to be comparable, but I think it's going to be really cool. It has a 52 mile per hour top speed. So essentially, you start the ride on a transfer track. So when you get into the train, you're not on a track. You slide over to the transfer track. You immediately launch backwards up the spike. You come back down the spike. You launch forwards up the top hat. You roll back down and then launch again all the way up the spike. And honestly, like some of the little details that I'm really excited for with this is that there's these little, almost like miniature bunny hills before and after each launch. So when you come back from the spike, you come down, you hit a little hill, you hit a launch, you hit a little hill. And I think those little pops of airtime before you hit these elements is going to be really, really cool. And there's a really crazy looking wave turn that if it is moving as fast as it looks in the POV, by the time you get to that wave turn, I think it's going to be a really good element. It has the steepest vertical drop in Florida. That's what they're using to advertise it. Who cares? But also, you know, it's something worth mentioning. I already mentioned it's got a very small footprint. I think it's going to be a fun ride. It's got, depending upon who you are, either very ugly or very nice orange track, with sort of like a tealish. I don't. What would you call the supports? Like,
I'd say almost navy, but they're like teal, more teal. So okay. Like a super dark teal, I guess, is the best way to say it. And the trains are just normal skyrocket trains. They didn't really do anything with them, I don't think.
Yeah, they took it to some, like, you know, vehicle graphics place and they slapped like a wrap on them. They're nothing special. So yeah, I think the ride's gonna be cool.
My take on the whole icebreaker thing. The colors in the name don't make sense to me. That's like my main thing. I'm like, icebreaker, why isn't it like light blue or something, or white? Or I'm just confused to where the name comes from with the color, because usually the color is part of the theming, most cases.
It doesn't seem to have a coherent theme, except that it's in like the Arctic area of the park, and that's why it's called Icebreaker. That's pretty much it. There's nothing really, like, I don't even think they tried to make a theme really. But I do agree, it does not match.
I mean, to be fair, they do have a ton of blue coasters already, I guess. So
yeah.
And then I have hopes for it. I have a Skyrocket at my home park with Skyrocket at Kennywood.
Very good name.
It was the prototype for this. It's a fun ride, but it doesn't have a lot going on for it. The layout's cool, but like it doesn't really do much in terms of forces or anything. So this looks a lot better than the one I have, more promising, I would say. It looks like it might have some kick to it. I'm interested.
It's also definitely like a people eater, right? That like everybody, like, people will like it. Like, I think enthusiasts will like it enough. The general public will really like this. They're going to love this coaster. And so like this will have a line all the way out, you know, to the sidewalk. And it will open up capacity on other stuff, which I think is with how small of a lineup SeaWorld Orlando has. I think that this will help them a lot with managing their crowd. So I think it's cool. I think it's a cool addition, cool little family coaster that might pack a little punch. We'll see.
I mean, their lineup's really shaping up too with this coming. So
yep.
Promising park. All right. And then moving on, we got the Ride to Happiness. another big name right here. Lots of thought. I'm almost interested if it's like is it going to be the Ride to Happiness at that park, or is it going to be, what language do they speak in Belgium?
Belgian.
Is it?
I don't know.
Or do they speak English? Are we this stupid?
They definitely don't speak English.
Look it up.
I am.
Look that shit up so we don't look stupid.
They speak Dutch.
Dutch. Okay.
Primarily.
So I'm wondering if it translates to something in Dutch that looks a lot better. Or sounds a lot better even. The
full name is the Ride to Happiness.
Brought to you by
Tomorrowland? Yeah.
And that is the music festival, right? I didn't really look into it, but I'm assuming it's the music festival.
Very cool name.
Dude, it might have a slapping song, though, while you're riding it. Dude. Some EDM while you're just spinning, going upside down and shit. Imagine.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is at Plopsaland, Belgium. Mock rides. We love the crackheads at Mock Rides. Dude, they are doing some crazy things. The model for this is the Extreme Spinning Coaster. As far as I know, there's only one right now with Time Traveler at Silver Dollar
City.
Looks like a great coaster, I must say. But this one is a bit different when it comes to the layout. So we got the max height is 108 feet. I don't believe there's a max drop listed, so I don't know if it's going to be that entire 108 feet or if it goes a little bit higher or if it goes lower even. I'm not too sure. We got the Heartline roll out of the station, basically a JoJo roll. I don't know why they're not calling it that, but it's like curved. It's almost like part of a turn. I don't know. It looks weird. We got LSM launch. We got banana roll loop. I don't know. I've seen it called both. Yep. I call it the roll though.
Me too.
Regular vertical loop, 0G roll, and an LSM boost. So you got two launches. The track length, it's just over 3,000 feet. Max speed 55.9. I don't know much about the theming and trains. I couldn't really find anything when I was researching more on this, but
the theme is happiness and EDM. That's obvious.
Paired together in most cases.
Happy at an EDM festival. That's the theme.
See, I would imagine it's like being on LSD or something.
That sounds really fun.
But the colors are dark purple and like pale off-white almost for the supports.
I like purple. It's a good color scheme.
I look at this thing like it's Time Traveler on crack, basically. It looks like a crazier Time Traveler. And I think Mach...
like an improvement on that.
Yeah, for sure. It's on a bigger scale, too. I think it's just bigger in size. I'm pretty sure. I personally think Mach is becoming a big competitor when it comes to roller coasters. In the past few years, we've seen a lot of the multi-launches.
Yep.
I don't think many in the U.S., though. We have a few. They're more so making their mark across the pond, so to speak. They got the mega coasters, and that's about it. I really like what they're doing, especially with the hyper coasters and mega coasters, personally.
The improvement upon their models has been like pretty inspiring, honestly. Like especially like the prototype models at Europa Park, like what they've been able to do with those models since then, just pushing the envelope. Like I agree. I think they're like an underrated manufacturer, number one, and number two, I think they're really pushing the envelope of like what's possible, like what's normal. It's kind of like I think Intamin is doing a similar thing with some of their newer stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like Mach is weirder, like in a good way. Like they do some really like Time Traveler is a really weird concept that in theory I wouldn't think would hit, but it's like consistently rated so highly.
I mean, so, even with Copperhead Strike here in the US, people say it's not that crazy of a coaster, but it definitely has a uniqueness to it.
Yeah, it's something completely different. Yep.
And I wanted to point out to go back on the hyper coasters, they're putting inversions on their hyper coasters, which is not seen too often. So,
I don't care about inversions, but I would enjoy that.
Those big loops they got on, like Flash, I believe is one of them, and then the other one's just a clone of Flash.
Yep.
But that thing is huge. A twisting drop into like a huge vertical loop around the lift hill.
All of the loops they do look big too for some reason. Like even that initial loop on Copperhead Strike is just like kind of menacing. The hang time on Mock Ride's loops is like insane.
I've noticed, they're more round than because for those you may not be familiar, most of the time loops are not round. They're more like a teardrop shape almost. Yeah. And
that's a much better description than oval. Teardrop. I like that.
I've always said they look like teardrops. So
yeah,
especially when I'm playing Planet Coaster, gotta make them myself. We don't do prefabs on Planet Coaster. When I'm shaping, I try to make it look like a teardrop because that's the most realistic, I feel. It helps with the forces, I believe. I would guess is the main reason.
I do prefabs for the record.
Yeah, we'll get them there eventually, guys.
That's why I don't stream Planet Coaster. I don't want people to clown me for my prefabs.
He's still in his online classes for it, but we'll get him there. So I'll pass it back over to you. I know you got a pretty exciting one because it's one you're gonna get on.
Oh, you better believe it. I am riding this thing maybe as soon as they announce when it's opening, I'll be up there within a month for sure. I'm a season ticket holder at Six Flags Great Adventure, and I'm very much looking forward to riding the Jersey Devil coaster. Stupid. It should just be called Jersey Devil. But yeah, they just topped it off today, which is like good timing. Excellent timing.
Crazy.
This ride is going to be.
We have another coaster that had a big thing happen today. What's up with that? Are we good luck?
Oh yeah, we did. Holy shit! Yeah, we got
not to get ahead of ourselves, but
we got to save that.
That's weird now that I think about it, though.
Yeah, Jersey Devil was topped off today. It is an RMZ Rocky Mountain Construction single rail. I can't speak. Raptor. And it is the tallest, fastest, longest, all of the above single rail. It is the first custom, like they actually built a full out layout for a single rail. It's the first time they've ever done it. And I think it's gonna be awesome. It's got an 87-degree drop. It's got a dive loop, a 0G stall, a 0G roll, 130 foot max height, and 58 mile per hour top speed. And if you know anything about single rail, you know that these things just rip through these elements.
They don't look real.
They do not. They look like they should not be allowed. I'm really looking forward to just sitting by myself, just ripping around that layout. I think it's going to be really, really awesome. It is themed to the mythical creature, the Jersey Devil, which truly a fantastic theme. Like you don't have to do anything else. You could literally just put up a shed for the station, and I'm happy that it's themed to the Jersey Devil, and the lead car has the sickest image of a devil's face, like a fully formed devil's face on the lead car. It's absolutely amazing. Orange track looks awesome. I think that this ride is going to have 4-hour wait for the first year that it's open, because this is exactly at that cross section of like a person like me really wants to ride it, but I'm telling you, like the general public is going to eat this shit up. They're going to love this ride. And I think that it's going to unlock the potential of the Raptor single rail model. And I think you're going to see a lot more of them. And in fact, we are there, there's more planned. But I think this is going to be a really nice proof of concept of sort of taking the Raptor concept outside of the small, compact, tiny footprint, 30-second ride sort of thing, and expanding it to something, more like a full-fledged roller coaster. So
for sure.
I'm hyped. I can't wait.
My input on the Jersey Devil. I agree with everything Chris said. It looks great. I would love to see a lot more of these popping up as well. My one complaint, I have a complaint. The train got the little devil guy on the front. It's cool.
Yeah.
But being the Jersey Devil, I feel like it should have been like Chris Christie's face on the front of it.
Fuck you. No, he does not.
Chris was sitting here like I was really about to complain about something with the shirt.
Let's be clear. Christopher Christie, first of all, who the hell names their kid that? Does not represent the great state of New Jersey. They'd be better suited putting my face on the front car of that train than Chris Christie's dumb ass.
Yeah, but it's the Jersey Devil, bro. I'm saying
yeah,
he's
but
bad.
The Jersey Devil is awesome. Let's be really clear about that. The Jersey Devil as a mythical creature is really awesome, really cool, and also the name of my favorite hockey team. So I think of Jersey Devil in a positive connotation, not like, oh, it's a terrible being from New Jersey. I think the Jersey Devil is awesome, and it's going to be an awesome roller coaster. Thank you, RMC. I love you.
We love you, RMC. Build more.
Yeah.
Let's see some more single rails. Let's see that T-Rex. Where that T-Rex at? So yeah, we'll move on. One of my personal favorites, Chris knows this. I've talked to him about it so much recently. I love the look of this ride, the layout. This is Conda.
You better learn Dutch.
At Wallaby, Belgium. Belgium getting some hitters. They really are.
This you better polish off your Dutch.
This is Intamin. Love you, Intamin.
Mm-hmm.
The model is a mega coaster. Not quite a hyper. Not quite an inverting, I guess, would be the thing it's in between. The features are 124 foot, 80-degree twisting first drop. Looks insane. We got outward bank turn on there, some airtime hills. The non-inverting, as far as I know, first of its kind Cobra Rule. Looks crazy.
It does.
The wall stall after that looks crazy. And then the twisting double down. Looks like it came straight off a lightning rod, but in a steel form.
Yep.
Some of the ride experience I think we should touch on is like the lift hill it's steeper than usual. I believe it's 45 degrees, I think I found somewhere.
It's visually intimidating.
Yeah, it looks big.
It is. It looks nuts.
Although it's not, it's just over. I don't think I found how tall it actually stands, but I mean, the first drop is 124 feet, and it looks a little bit off the ground, so maybe we'd say it stands 150 feet tall, maybe at the most, I would say. Almost 4,000 feet. It's a pretty long ride. Not quite there. Top speed's is 70 miles an hour, though. It should be hauling.
She fast. And
Chris knows I always, besides Pantheon, this outward bank to me looks insane.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what I have in my notes for this because
I was going to read them if you didn't. Honestly, I had them up. I was going to read
them because I want to know what you think.
Yeah, let me just expose this man for what he put in the notes. He says Intamin is GOAT. Insane elements, airtime galore, banking on the outward bank seems unreal. Non-inverting Cobra Roll, first of its kind, new Intamin track design. He thinks that Intamin is GOAT. He put it in writing. He thinks that Intamin is the greatest of all time.
I'm standing by my boys. Sorry, RMC people. Intamin coming for you, though.
I don't agree.
Well, why?
We'll see.
Because they don't make. I mean, they do make wood coasters. It's not anymore.
Listen, my number 1B coaster is an Intamin prefab Woody. Like, consider it. But I'm just saying, I don't think that you can conclusively say that Intamin is the greatest of all time. Intamin, but we will have this argument at a later date.
Intamin is the greatest of all time. You heard it here.
I am very excited to ride several, hopefully new for 2021 Intamins this year, including one that we will talk about in just a few minutes at my home park. So we'll see. My opinion might change after I get off Pantheon. That might be my number one. We'll just have to see.
We got a big one up next, though, with the manufacturer that is apparently better than Intamin. But go ahead, take it away.
One of the manufacturers that is better than Intamin. The next coaster is at Busch Gardens, Tampa, and it is Iron Gwazi from RMC. It is an iBox hybrid, and this thing looks cracked. What else can you say? Everybody knows everything there is to know about this already, but goddamn it, does this ride look nuts? It's crazy to look at. It's like, it reminds me of Steel Vengeance, that like physically you look at this ride and you think that's wrong. That should not be allowed. What this roller coaster does should not be allowed. This is one that I will very likely get this year if I manage to go to Tampa to visit my father and finally get to Busch Gardens, Tampa. But yeah, I mean, this ride's awesome. It is very tall, very steep. It's a 91 degree, 206 foot first drop. It has a barrel roll down the drop, an overbank turn, 0G stall, very quick, snappy transitions. It's very fast paced. It's just that classic RMC. And I think they are trying to improve on some of their concepts with this model. And I think it's going to be extremely awesome. Just for some background on this one, when they announced Tigris, how do you pronounce that?
Tigris, I think.
Tigris?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the Skyrocket 2 clone.
Yeah. It's like Tempesto for BGT. They had trademarked the name Iron Gwazi, which started the rumors that they were going to RMC Gwazi. Gwazi was a dueling GCI. We talked about it before. The trains ended up at Invader at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. I sat in the Gwazi trains yesterday, which is kind of cool. Iron Gwazi used a very large portion of the existing structure from Gwazi. It's a steel wood hybrid. It's going to be awesome. It's the tallest, steepest, fastest of the RMCs.
Coming for Steel Vengeance's crown, maybe.
Dude, awesome color scheme, awesome cars.
Oh, true.
Like the trains are insane.
Actually.
Yeah. It's like
crocodiles.
People shit on it a little bit when they released them, when they debuted the trains, but I think they're awesome. And I love the purple track. I'm hyped for this one.
The first RMC that wasn't like a shade of red, right? Besides like the blue and white, there's like two that are blue and white. I know. But as far as like normal wood colored supports, this is the first one that's not a shade of red or like a gray.
I was gonna say, I was thinking of, what do you call it? That's green and blue that has white supports. But it doesn't have normal wood supports, so that does not fit into what you're saying.
Oh no, wait, because we got Joker too.
Yeah, Joker's.
We can forget about that one though.
Yeah,
apparently it's not the greatest. Yeah.
No, I think this ride looks. I'm telling you, like, there's something about that first drop. It almost like somebody would have to explain like the engineering behind how that first drop is supported, because there isn't. It's just like a drop. Like, are you looking at the picture right now?
Yeah, it's got like the main at the crest at the very top. It's got a support there that goes all the way to the ground, and then there's some support work that goes follows the lift hill but doesn't touch the ground, and maybe like the halfway point where it touches the ground again, it has another support that goes down, and then the bottom obviously touches the ground too. So there's like doesn't it
look wrong though?
Yeah, it looks like it needs more.
That's what I'm saying. Like, for the traditional lift hill, like on a coaster like this, it's just full support the whole way down, and there's just an empty space where the support should be. It looks awesome. it just makes it extra menacing to me, and I really like that. I'm really excited for this one. Everybody's excited for this one, but I am among them.
Apparently, I think I read somewhere that like this is how their lifts are gonna look from here on out, because I guess it saves resources that they use, and it apparently works.
Well, that's like their whole deal, right? It's like saving resources, saving money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually just yesterday I punished Taylor at Busch Gardens talking about RMC, about how, because I said some head ass shit like, yeah, RMC has completely changed the industry forever. Like I was like, they're just innovators. Like I was just being I was simping. I was being a fanboy. And she was like, what do you mean? And I was like, well, not to mention that their ride experiences are unmatched, but also they save money, resources, time, etc. for the parks. Like, can you just imagine? And I went on this huge rant about how the Raptor is like an affordable, high thrill, high attendance attraction for smaller parks. How, you know, the iBot, like the hybrids and the retrofit, like I just went through the whole thing. It was very punishing stuff.
They're insane. They're just insane.
Yeah.
They came out of nowhere, really. I mean, I know they have a couple people who like came from other manufacturers, but
yeah, I mean, you know who they have working for them.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as like popping up with like what they did,
right?
It was just bam, we're here.
Very, very small side note on this. While we're on the subject, I've been watching a lot of Alan Schilke interviews lately, where he goes to the rides that he designs and watches, like either rides them or like sees them in person complete for the first time. And I could spend all day. That's free serotonin, dude. Just watching him smile and geek and just like nerd out about the rides he designed. What a fucking legend, dude.
We love you, him. Alan. Come on the podcast.
Please come on the show,
dude. Dream guest.
Everybody else has gotten to interview him, so why can't we? You know,
we'll send him an email after this.
Yep.
What's up, Alan? How you doing?
Can buddy? I have a T-shirt also?
I already bought one. I supported. You needed my $20. I supported you, so please come on my podcast.
Please, sir.
Your multi-million-dollar company. I'm paying for an interview. Yeah, I guess, I mean, can I throw this out here, random thing? But since this is the only, like, hybrid RMC on our list, I want to say it now. My dream to see one of these somewhere. I don't know, I've never even, like, mentioned this to you because this might get your gears going. Imagine, like, a terrain-hugging hybrid RMC. Say, like, why did I just forget what the Silver Dollar City one is called? Holy shit.
The RMC?
Yeah, what's it called? Holy shit.
Outlaw Run?
Outlaw Run. Lightning rod type deal. At BGW in the woods. Back in the woods. Bro. All right, we gotta move on because we'll get sidetracked. Anything BGW.
I will let that race through my brain after the episode.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk later.
Oof.
All right, I'll let you take us.
It's your turn.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yeah.
Bruh. Penguins. We got Emperor.
I only gave you this one because I'm personally like unaffected. Like it doesn't seem like something special to me, but you seem to have a different opinion and I'm interested in hearing it. So
I am very interested in this. Most of the dive machines have been lackluster recently. I will say that. This one is going to be on the West Coast, first one. SeaWorld San Diego. Of course, the manufacturer is B&M. 143 foot, so it's not the normal 200 footers we're seeing in most cases. I believe all the most recent ones are over 200.
Yeah, I think Griffin's like 205, something like that.
It's got the 90-degree first drop. Immelman over bank turn, which is a little bit different.
Yep.
Than the bigger ones. Some of them have them, but this one seems to be more overbanked. I couldn't really find the number on it, but it looks like it's more overbanked than normal for one of these. It's got like a barrel roll. It's a 0G almost, but it's more stretched out. So I think they're calling it a barrel roll. I don't know. I saw a 0G in some places, barrel roll in others. It's got like a big corkscrew as well. So it's shorter. Most of these are usually short. 2,400 feet around there. Yeah, like I said, it's the first on the West Coast. I love the colors. A light blue and a teal. The trains look cool.
You really like blue roller coasters.
Dude, I do. They just pop. Like I said, they're smaller than the rest. So I feel like it could possibly be more forceful than the big ones. The big ones are known for being like graceful. A lot of B&M coasters are, but specifically the dive machines are very graceful, and pacing is at the bottom of the first hill is basically where it feels fastest. Obviously that's where it's the fastest, but that's really the only point where you feel like you're kind of zooming. The rest is just kind of floaty.
Slow and big.
Yeah.
Everything's very drawn out and big, yeah.
So depending on the pacing of this one, I feel like personally it could end up being more forceful of the bunch.
I want to just say that I really like that it's themed to penguins, because I really like penguins. They installed the sign. It has a penguin on it. I like that a lot. That is my most detailed opinion on this ride. I think that the odds, you might be right. You might be right. The smaller size might result in it being more forceful, but also that changes the whole dive experience for me. Like, what I like about a dive machine is how big the dive is, right? Like how big the actual dive element is. And then you literally, like you said, you soar gracefully into the dive loop. And that's what I like about dive machines. So it might be a completely different type of experience. I just think to me, the odds are higher that it'll just be a less good version of the bigger dive machines. But I hope you're right. I hope you're right, because it's cool. I think it's cool that they were, and you know why they did it smaller too. That like it's like they're required
restrictions. Yeah, in California.
Yeah. And so I think it's cool that they did it anyway. Like, I kind of respect that a lot, that, you know, they wanted to have a B&M dive. They had the height restrictions. They just made a smaller version of it. And yeah, we'll see. I think it has potential. I think it does. I agree with your thoughts on it for the most part.
I want to say one last thing. Location for it is great. Like, obviously no one over there who's not an enthusiast and travels for this stuff like have never seen one of these in person before,
right?
Maybe never ridden it if they have never found themselves on the East Coast, but I think it's great.
Yeah, a lot of West Coast enthusiasts getting their first dive credit this year. That's cool.
Good stuff.
I
think they're good coasters, but we'll move on. I know you are itching over there because here we go.
Yeah. My final coaster on my most anticipated.
Let me stop real quick, because I'm going to play the Amusement Insider video again from last episode while we're talking about this. So shout out to them again for putting this video together. We love it. We always reference this when it comes to this coaster. But we're going to be doing it for this one and then our last one as well. We wanted to throw the videos on screen for the last two because it's our most important two. So, all right, take it away.
Yeah, like this is just the most obvious thing ever, but my most anticipated of 2021 is Pantheon at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. I've talked about it so much on this show already. It feels crazy to talk about it again. But I've been looking forward to it for so long. I've been tracking the progress of this ride since it was rumored several years ago, just picking through every detail of this, just like dying to know what it would end up being. And it's built, like it's there. I saw it yesterday. It's complete. I told Taylor I feel like it's like insulting to me that it's sitting there like it's good to go and they will not let me get on it. And she literally asked me, she said, would you be willing to drain your savings? Like if they said, if you give us the contents of your savings account to ride it right now, would you do it? And I said, no question. No question whatsoever. To be the first person to ever ride Pantheon and to get it done, like immediately I would do that. But yeah, I mean, the details of this coaster, it's an Intamin custom blitz, 4 LSM launches, a 95-degree drop, 178-foot max height, which is in the vertical spike. It's got a 73 mile per hour top speed. It is going to be insane. The theming is probably going to end up being loose because Busch Gardens is cutting costs. But the 5 sections of the ride are supposed to be themed to 5 Greek gods: Minerva, Mercury, Jupiter, Pluto, and Neptune. And they had a nice description of why each of those areas were themed to those gods when they announced the ride. I don't remember what it was. But the trains are awesome. The color pops. The track is gold with white supports. It looks really, really good. It looks really good. And the contrast, the view that I had from the bridge in Germany, where you could see Tempesto, Apollo, Pantheon, the 3 of them just rounding out that area together. It's pretty stunning stuff. But yeah, in terms of the layout, you hit your first launch into the 0G winder, is what they're calling that inversion. You launch like maybe 3/4 up the top hat. You roll back and then launch into the vertical spike. And there's a switch track. I should mention that. So you don't roll back into the 0G winder. You roll back up into the spike. And then you launch again. And this time you go over the top hat, which I think is going to be really fun. The POV that's playing behind my face right now should show that if this POV is to be believed, you will take the crest over that top hat pretty slow, which I think is really fun, and dive down towards the river, which we've talked about the Rhine River a lot, the Busch Gardens version of the Rhine River a lot on this podcast so far. And then you hit what I think will be the craziest element of the whole ride. I know that you agree, but you hit that outward bank in the direction of the river. And like, I cannot stress this enough. Like, I want to believe that I am going to be fired directly into not the sun, but the river. I want to go for a swim. Like, I want that airtime I want that ejector to be so hard that I'm literally scared that I'm going to go for a swim in the Rhine River. But yeah, you go through the outward bank, you have your stall inversion, and then you have another little outward bank into the final brake run. And boy, it's going to be crazy ride. Some of my favorite elements, like, all packed into one ride. Like, I'm really excited.
And a lot of these are like, for us or you and me, will be like the first on a steel coaster. I feel like.
Yeah.
I've never experienced most of these, period. But you experienced some on a hybrid. Now hybrid.
Yep. Previously a Woody.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It just looks awesome. I think it's a great addition. They haven't gotten something this extreme in a while. So I'd say Griffin was the last one that was super intense. Not intense, but like big of a coaster.
Yeah. Intended to be more of a thrill coaster.
Yeah.
No, this will be the most thrilling coaster in the park, and it's not. I don't even think it's going to be close.
Yeah,
like I really think this is going to be by far the most extreme thing they have. And it's like the perfect piece for this lineup. It's perfect.
Yeah,
it's literally perfect. Like I now, if they build a second Intamin launch coaster like they're talking about, maybe we can talk about how their lineup is a little weird. But I will never ever say I won't have any regrets on either. They can build whatever the hell they want. I'm just gonna go ride it. Like I'm so excited for this. It's gonna be an awesome ride. And I also managed to pick up yesterday the just released Pantheon member pin for the release for the opening of the ride. And it actually I got it. It actually opens up and shows the symbols for all of the Greek gods. So that was a nice little pickup for me yesterday while I was at the park. And the merch is out, folks. The Pantheon merch is out. I saw it for myself. I'm going to buy myself a t-shirt once I ride it, but it's coming. And they actually just announced today or yesterday that they're going to start testing within the next like 2 weeks or so, 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah, I texted you about it, but you were sleeping.
Oh.
And I text you too much while you're sleeping, so then you don't read everything when you wake up.
I think if it slaps as hard as you think it's going to, you should get a Pantheon tattoo. That's just
I will. I'll get a Pantheon tattoo anyway. I don't care.
And then if I ride it and I like it as much as I think I'm going to, we'll get matching ones. There you go.
Let's go. I'm definitely down. This might contend for my number one. Like, it's gonna take a lot, but I'm like leaving space in my top 5 for this ride because I think it's gonna get there.
I don't think you have one. I know I don't, but like, of all the things I love, I have most of them tattooed on me, but no coaster ones.
I do not have a coaster tattoo.
Because it's kind of a weird thing, like, how do you even go about it? But, who knows, maybe one day we'll figure it out.
Lightning rod chest piece.
Just the logo. With the flame and everything in the tire. Dude, that'd be hard, dude.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. We put this one, I'd say we're most excited for Pantheon because we know it's something out of anything that we will get on for sure.
And I'm going to ride it a lot, too. A lot.
But our last one we wanted to put last because I feel like it's the most talked about this year. A lot of people, even non-enthusiasts, know about it. And that is, again, video provided by Amusement Insider. We're throwing that up on the screen for you. But it's
Thank you, Amusement Insider.
The Jurassic
for all of your work.
World themed Intamin multi-launch roller coaster at Universal Studios Orlando called Velocicoaster. A lot of ring to it.
Yes. I like how Velocicoaster was like the rumored name for the longest time, like, and everybody kind of memed it, and then they were like, by the way, it's literally called Velocicoaster.
Dude, I love the name. I think it's sick. Yeah.
I think it's really good.
So this bad boy, I mean, it kind of looks like the sibling to Pantheon in a way.
Yes. Very similar.
They handle their launches different. This is a full circuit. You got no switch track or spike, but I think what it lacks in that, it makes up for in the rest of the layout. It does its own thing. So
there is a top hat.
There is a top hat. That's one thing they got in common. There's a stall. They both got stalls.
Ooh, the stall over the water.
G rolls.
Oh.
Okay, we gotta get to that.
The video today of the people riding it. Ooh. Yeah, sorry. Didn't mean to drop that, but literally on the day of this recording, there were people, human beings, riding Velocicoaster. That's how far along they are in testing. And watching those people in that stall over the water.
The 0G's over the water.
Was it? Is it?
Yeah. The stall is like over on... There might be some water under it, but the lagoon part is a 0G roll.
Please hold. You just keep talking about this ride while I go.
Trust me.
While I go watch the video I just saw today.
So basically, it's got 2 launches. You're going to be hitting 70 miles per hour in 2.4 seconds on the second launch, the fastest point. You got 4 inversions, it says, but I only see 2. 3? 2. Wait.
Is there one inside? Is there one inside?
I don't know, because like there really hasn't, besides this video Amusement Insider, we don't really know what goes on that first half too much, I guess.
That's true. That's true.
But they listed that it has 4 inversions. It's got the 155-foot top hat with a slight stall almost on the top hat. There's like a break up there. It seems to slow you down a bit and hold you almost.
Yep.
It does have the 0G stall as well. That's 100 feet long. Looks crazy. Pretty long stall.
You're right. You're right. I think.
Yeah,
I'm still working.
The stall is like part of like that spaghetti bowl section looking where it goes around twice, 2.5 times. And then the main thing for me is a 0G roll over the water. It looks like the closest thing to the Maverick Heartline roll we're gonna get. Doesn't look as crazy. It looks like it's gonna be. It looks like it's not gonna kill people, but it looks intense enough to where it's gonna be a crazy thing to experience.
It hasn't killed anybody yet, and people were riding it. So
people were riding it today, and we have gotten no reports of an accident in the 0G roll.
Today. Let me just verify this piece here. No, it is the 0G roll. You're right.
Yeah,
I see where the stall is.
So
either way, just hanging over that water, like rolling over that water, is the part that I'm like, I think it's so close to the water. It looks like,
but that portion before that is just packed with stuff to me. Like when you really look at it, it's like, so I think it goes. God, the video's up, but I'm gonna get corrected if I'm wrong. The first thing you go into is the stall coming out of the top hat.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So you hit the stall, and then you go up into. I don't think it's quite overbanked, but it looks pretty steep. It might be overbanked.
I don't think it really stops over. Like, I don't think it comes even close to stopping over the top hat. By the way, like watching this video, I'm watching this video from Midway Mayhem where they
to me
the human riders today. It goes over like without any resistance, really.
Imagine they turn that off.
Fly over that thing. I was gonna say my 5th cuss word of the episode.
Oh, but yeah, that little section with the stall that goes into that turn that kind of pops inward, so it's like a sideways airtime hill at the top of it almost.
Yeah,
I don't know what that's technically called. I can't. Doesn't come to mind. It's another RMC like feature.
Yeah.
And then the other, you come back down and then you hit the outer bank. So it's not a full outer bank turn though. You bank naturally the right way going up, then it twists you out at the top. It looks like it flings you, which is what we want.
Yes, it is.
And then you go back into the natural banking when you go back down, and then you hit that it looks super low to me, just in the videos I've seen, overbank turn that turns you around and sends you towards that 0G roll over the lagoon. Just insane.
Correct layout.
Obviously, to touch upon like the theming again, it's Jurassic World. It's gonna have full dialogue from like actors from the movies. There's
dumbass Chris Pratt.
I'm sure the Q line. It's Universal. There's gonna be crazy stuff.
There's gonna be animatronics inside. There's gonna be special effects. There's gonna be lighting. There's gonna be darkness. There's gonna be video screens. I mean, this will have everything.
It's an like expensive coaster.
It's like if you took the new updated Jurassic World ride that they did for Disneyland, or not Disneyland, Universal Hollywood is what I meant. That level of effects, and put a
thrill coaster in it,
intimate multi-launch coaster inside it. Like, I really think that's what it's going to be like. Maybe even better. I don't know. I think like I talked in episode 1 about how I feel about Universal's theming. Like, it's just like especially like on this side of the world, it is unmatched. They are so good, and they're so good at using the Jurassic Park franchise too. They always have been. Like, that area of the park is really awesome. Everything they've ever done with Jurassic Park has been really incredible, and I think that this is going to be the best yet.
I mean,
what an unbelievable addition to this park.
The 2 coasters they have with this and Hagrid's, like, they're just the coasters are rolling out at this park now.
Yep.
I guess we should probably. Why didn't either of us mention it? The trains.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This was your coaster to do so. I won't take responsibility for that.
But I mean, we've both been talking about these trains since we saw them. They're just insane.
The lights,
blue lights all over them. They just look futuristic and clean. Like, it's awesome.
At night with the lights on. Ooh, those test videos,
dude. Oh my god, I'm so hyped for this. So hyped for it.
I think they're trying to open for spring break too. I do. I think they're like almost close. Like the fact that people were on it today, like they must be like right there.
If they tested today with people, December.
The summer.
Oh, it was supposed to. Was this a? This was always a 2021 coaster, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It took them 4 months to build it or something. Like they're
this thing came super quick. Just from following it, it always shocked me how quick it.
Like I promise you, I will book a 3-day trip to Universal if I have to spend one of those days standing in line for this. Like I really will. I still haven't ridden Hagrid, so I guess I'll stand in line for Hagrid's on day 2, and then I'll ride everything else on day 3. Yeah, this ride is going to be magnificent.
I guess lastly, we'll mention that it is holding some records. Tallest, fastest launch in Florida. So, and again, it's apparently they claim it's going to have 12 seconds of airtime, which is a lot. It might not sound a lot, but that's
count to 12. Pause the podcast and count to 12.
Yeah, you're floating in the air for that long on this single ride. It's a decent number.
It's a long time. It's a long time, especially for a ride like this.
True.
Like this thing has everything. Yeah, honestly, if it wasn't for this, like I would have no doubt the Pantheon will be my favorite of the year. But this is the thing that I think can compete, and I guess Gwazi too. But you know, I like launch coasters quite a bit, and so I'm really excited for both of these. It's gonna be awesome.
And I agree that it's probably gonna come down to this and Pantheon for me to actually pick my favorite of the year. Even if I don't say I didn't get on any of these, just looking at them, I think these two are on top.
Yeah, well, they're both Intamin, so you know, there you go. Yeah. I mean, let's be honest, like 2020, the worst year in history for roller coasters and theme parks and enthusiasts. We're still not done yet, but I am choosing to look on the bright side. The list that we just went through of 2021 rides is absolutely stacked. It is going to be a landmark year. It will probably be the last good year for roller coasters we have for a long time as these companies and parks try to recoup their money that they lost in 2020. But at least we're getting this stacked of a 2021 lineup. And I'm really excited to ride several of them this year and also come back and report on my experience on this podcast. I'm really hyped. It's going to be a good year. We're going to turn it around.
That was our last one on the list. We did it. We discussed all of our most anticipated 2021 coasters. I hope I said 2021 in the beginning. Now I'm trying to think if I said that or 2020 like a dummy.
You said 21.
Okay. Let's go. So yeah, that's it. Like we said last time, I think we said in the podcast, or maybe it was after we got it on there. But we are on Spotify, Apple Music now, Apple Podcasts. Again, we have the YouTube. We're still doing the Twitch thing. We're passing it back and forth. So every episode's early. We have a Discord, Twitter, all that fun stuff. And we're trying to get a Patreon going.
Yeah. We'll have a Patreon live once we get it figured out. We technically have a Patreon. It's just not live yet. But yeah, no, I think the fastest and easiest way that you, the dear listener, can help us is to subscribe to the YouTube channel, to follow us on Twitter, to subscribe on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, whatever you use, and to leave us a 5-star review. Yeah. We've got a couple 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts, and that tickles me, and I appreciate it a lot. And we appreciate the support so far, and we especially appreciate our UK support. We are charted. We are charted. And that feels really good. So yeah, we appreciate you guys. This is a labor of love, certainly, and it's been really fun. So I have no idea what we're going to talk about for episode 4, but I'm sure we'll tell you when we figure it out.
We will tell you Wednesday in my stream if you're there. That's usually when we announce it at that early premiere. Which, by the way, I want to point out some feedback I have gotten. We know sometimes the audio gets scuffed. We're working on it. We might. We're not professionals. We're doing this through Discord, but we are looking into. We're going to record the audio so it doesn't cut off in the Discord call. We're looking into it.
Yeah,
but we appreciate the feedback. Yeah. Again, this is something we want to do for fun. We're taking it that way. We're going to keep it that way, hopefully, always. It's just us babbling about coasters.
I'm glad you're having fun.
I'm having fun.
Me too. Bye, guys.
I'm having fun. Intimate is the best. We love you. Episode 4. The topic announced soon.
Bye.
Bye.